Crap with Beth and Matt. Cut to Crap is the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast. Houston, we have a problem. And hey there, friends and fellow no bullshitters. We are back with a spicy episode. This week, Beth and I talk about something that has been bugging us for a while now, and that's communication. More importantly, communication and honesty with yourself and your coach. But not only that, we feel like there is a larger communication problem in our society as a whole. Let's get into it. All right, Beth, what is going on?
Just had one lovely morning of arguing with people on the internet over sugar addiction and food addiction.
Oh.
And I, of course, am the evil person when I say you cannot be addicted to sugar or food. I understand people getting really upset about it, right? Because you may feel like you are addicted to something because you cannot stop doing this thing, but you are not physically addicted, right? And I'm not trying to unvalidate everyone's feelings, but when you compare alcoholism to overeating and saying that they are like alike, or saying that, you know, it's just really frustrating me.
Yeah.
You know?
Or sugar is like cocaine or some other drugs. We hear that one so often.
And then saying that, well, obesity ruins families and it also causes death. And yeah, it does. But also that stems from like your relationship with food. And food is a necessity. Like alcoholism or alcohol is not. It's a fucking chemical, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a poison. It's not even supposed to be in our bodies. So,
correct.
Anyway.
Yeah, that when people compare sugar to alcohol and hard drugs and things like that, to me, it just really screams ignorance. And it also screams like, hey, I've never experienced this in my life. I've never gone through any type of addiction issues, or I've never experienced it in my family or with my friends or anything like that. Because if they had, they sure as shit would not be comparing sugar to alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
That shit, you don't want to like,
I
don't even know how to describe it. Obviously I'm not talking from my personal experience with addiction. But it's, something I have experienced with in my life, with my family and friends. And I think most people do know somebody that is impacted by drugs and addiction and substance abuse, for sure. It comes from a place of ignorance and privilege, honestly.
Yeah. I think what really got me was this comment. I'm going to read it because it struck me. It hit me in the feels, and I was like, I understand, because this is why we're in the business. We're in the business of really helping people love their bodies and not destroy themselves with food and heal the relationship with food. And this here, she said, being morbidly obese absolutely ruins families. Diabetes, dialysis, bed sores, total care at home, the cost of healthcare, wheelchair, the scooter, the fighting, the control, the emotional and physical toll, divorce, bankruptcy. Because people can't afford their care. Many food addicts have been sexually abused, like drug addicts and alcoholics. Petting a puppy, wow, thanks for your support. So we are just fat, lazy asses that should go buy a puppy.
Jesus Christ.
Got it. It's like, that's not what I was saying. I was saying that you're trying to compare the dopamine hit to the brain to alcoholism, which you get the same hit from petting a puppy. I'm not like trying to dismiss people's issues with food at all. And like I said, that's why we are here.
Yeah. And that comment, what stood out to me, there was a lot of things that stood out to me with that comment, but the one thing in particular was the sexual abuse thing. And yes, but that is, the sexual abuse, like that is a heavy fucking topic, but that is the food and the addiction with food and the behaviors around food, that is being used as then a coping mechanism to deal with that. Right. And that's not the root cause. The food isn't why, it's not that you're addicted to food. You're using the food as a way to cope with that, to cover it up, to help you process it. It's and ultimately what this has happened. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like with alcohol, it's a progressive disease. It's not something that you just start drinking alcohol and you're addicted. It's like over time, your body becomes physically addicted, and it's not like food. You don't.
It changes the chemical structure in your brain.
Yeah. So it, yeah, it's different, but I understand their struggles too. I'm not dismissing that. I just think that there should not be a comparison.
I agree. Absolutely.
So.
You're definitely not discounting, obesity and people that struggle with their relationship with food at all. But obesity is a very fucking complex subject. There's not just one cause of obesity. There's so many, like there's so many reasons and factors that go into obesity. It could be social and economic. It could be behavioral, it could be eating disorders, which is mental health. It could be all these other things. There's not just one root cause. It's usually many, many things going on.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad I had the dietitians in there helping me out because.
Oh, did you? Who was chiming in?
Yeah, like Tony Marinucci, okay, nice. And then what's her name? But she's really big on Instagram. Her name is
watching the video back right now.
Yeah, because I want to get her name because she just started following me and I really, really love her stuff.
Okay.
She is the Feel Good Dietitian. Her name is Lauren Cadillac.
Yes. Okay. She's very big
awesome.
On Instagram.
Yeah. And she was like, she goes, I've worked with a lot of people from Overeaters Anonymous, and that doesn't work because they try to restrict them from the food. And she's like, restriction leads to the binging problem.
Right.
It's not an addiction physically, so you have to work with a person on their relationship with the food. And she was trying to like back me up on this. And I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
She's like, thank you for saying this because you're totally right. But I get really emotional and struck when people try to, it makes you feel bad, like for saying, some of these things that even though they're true, like I don't want to dismiss, like I said, anyone else's other feelings. It's just different.
Well, here's what it comes down to is everybody likes the no bullshit approach that you and I have and holding people accountable until we call them on their bullshit and we hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Period. And I'm not saying everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but there's some people that they love it when we're calling people out and calling people on their bullshit until we do it with them. Because it's hard to look inward and look at your own shit. It's very, very fucking hard. And it's very hard to accept the fact that you, the person that's on the receiving end of this no bullshit, is the one that controls their destiny and nobody else, nothing else,
Yeah.
They're the only ones that can help themselves and elicit that change. And yes, and other people are out there to help you and to guide you along the way. But if you don't want to go through the work yourself, nothing is going to happen.
Yeah. Which kind of leads into what we want to talk about today.
That's a really good segue.
Communication with your coach or literally anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
We seem to have a communication issue in this
Houston. We have a communication problem.
Everyone likes to beat around the bush and not face their shit.
Yeah.
Or they like to run from it.
As a society and also with coaching and being honest with your coach. But as a society as a whole, we have a huge communication problem. We live in a society of we're ghosting people and just leaving people on red and ignoring them and ignoring our fucking problems is the new norm. And it's ridiculous. It's awful. And it's not going to help anybody by ignoring these problems. Because talking about our problems and what we're going through and our feelings, talking about our feelings and expressing ourselves is hard. It makes us uncomfortable. It makes us vulnerable. And it gives us that fear of rejection. And we don't want to potentially put ourselves out there like that. So we're just going to ignore the problem and hope that it goes away.
Right.
But
have you had a client ghost you ever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And isn't that like a punch in the gut?
It's a slap in the face. It's an uppercut and it's a slap in the face. And it's all these other, it's so disrespectful. It's wasting my time. It's wasting your time, your money. If you're paying me first and foremost, you're wasting your own money. But yeah, no, I've done, and recently it's been a big problem for me recently in my coaching business. I've had quite a few clients in the first month after signing a 6-month agreement. like just ghosting after 2 weeks. MIA.
Oh yeah.
Like, you just paid me all this money.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're and just up and all of a sudden canceling the payment plan, or just not answering our check-ins or our messaging.
Right.
And things like that. And I know you do this too, Beth, when I bring on a new client, I am very, very clear about what our expectations are with coaching.
Yes.
And the one of the biggest things I emphasize on my coaching consultations before anybody ever becomes a client. And if I get to feel that they are not a good communicator, I will not bring them on, because I don't want to deal with it. I tell them, in order for this relationship to work, this coach-client relationship, in order for us to help you, you need to help yourself, but we need communication. And that just doesn't go from the clients. That's a two-way street. We need communication from the clients to us, you as your coaches, and we need to be able to communicate with you. And we're going to communicate with you, but if we're not getting anything back, we can't help you. And it goes with being, having that honesty with yourself and with your coach. And we don't know if you're struggling if you're not telling us. Like, we're not with you in person, okay? And even if we were with you in person, you would still have to be forthcoming with that. Maybe we could read your body language and things like that a little bit better, or you would just skip our appointments, in person. But it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem.
Yeah, and it's like we invest in these people emotionally too. Yes. It's like, they don't understand, like, we want you to succeed and win. Like, I've had clients ghost me that I've created relationships with. You
take it very personally.
We're taking over a few months, like we're talking like video chats and just like, and then suddenly they are gone. And you're like, what happened? Did you get a fucking
are you okay? First and foremost,
are you dead? Like, where are you? Like, seriously, I'll be sending them videos, sending them emails. I'll be thinking about them at night. Like, what happened? Like, we just talked, and then they are fucking gone. As a human being, I could never do that to somebody. I just don't understand someone's logic of creating a relationship with someone, hiring someone, paying them money. And then you just completely ditch, like you fucking run, like you weren't even, like that person did not exist. We are human people. We have feelings here.
We're not robots.
It's like, you think that we're just going to forget about you and be like, screw that person. I didn't want them to succeed at all. Right. It makes no sense. It's like, you guys, we need to fucking talk. This is why you are coming to us in the first place, is because nothing is changed until it is faced.
Right.
So you got to face your shit, man. Like,
a recurring theme on our show, on our podcast, right? Going back to with Susan Niebergall.
Yeah.
Like, are you ready to be open and honest about your shit? And it's tough, and for me personally, how I've been struggling with a lot of stuff personally in my life with family and things like that. But then with my business and coaching and everything like that too, these last 2 weeks were very fucking difficult for me, because a lot of my newer clients were just, I'm not trying to call anybody out here, but I kind of am. I guess I am. Just after a week or two, like, just say, see ya. Like, okay, I just signed a 6-month agreement, and 2 weeks later, I'm not feeling like, because they realize like they're gonna have to put in some fucking work.
Right. That's the thing. It's gonna take work. And if you're not ready for coaching, then don't do it. Like, you need to be ready. You need to be absolutely 100% all in.
Yes, you do. And like going on, we're people, and that impacted me greatly. Like, I was on vacation with my son, and I still have a business to run. So I still need to be checking in and doing things like that.
Yeah.
And for me, as a person, as a coach, as a business owner, it was so defeating when I was on vacation, and I would be getting people canceling after 2 weeks, or just ghosting and trying to get their money back and things like that for their first month, when we've already committed and spent all of our time and money into getting them set up and everything.
Writing programs, and that stuff takes time.
From a business perspective, if somebody signs up with me and only stays on for 1 month, I lose money. I cannot be paying to coach people.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
it's just disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, honoring your fucking commitments and your agreements too. You wouldn't start a job or you want it, if let's say you're a contractor or a consultant, you want to say, okay, I'm going to come work with you for 6 months, and here's the rate and everything. Here's what I expect from you. And then if that employer let you go after 2 weeks and you had a 6-month contract in place, you'd be fucking pissed. They are now impacting you financially. They're impacting your family, your mental state, and everything. But only that, like you mentioned being ready for coaching too, and that's very, very important. So like, what are some things that say that you're ready for coaching? What are some things that some questions people should be asking?
I think if you're ready,
coaches too.
Yeah, I think, are they ready to put in the work? Are they ready to be honest? Are they ready to communicate? Are they, everyone wants to be accountable until they're accountable for. Really. And that's the number one thing on sales calls. It's like, I just need the accountability. Okay. Well, I'm going to,
here's how I'm going to hold you accountable.
So you need to be fucking accountable. Like, where you're like, we're not chasing down check-ins. We're not fucking babysitters. And a lot of the times I feel like I am. And like you said, like, I let them know in the beginning, like, this is what you need to do. This is what I expect from you. And this is what you should expect from me. So why aren't we doing this?
By signing up with us, you are agreeing to those things.
That's the thing. So
you know what you're getting when you sign up with us and with other coaches. At least I hope your coach is making things like perfectly clear. And I don't want to make this seem like we're just calling out clients and people on the internet and things like that. This goes to coaches too. Coaches need to have good communication skills and good people skills as well. So it's a two-way street. Okay, it goes both ways. But if you and your coach are ready to jump in and get to work, it's going to take trial and error. It's going to be some fine tuning. What works, what doesn't work. Let's try this. Does it work? Does it sound good? No, it doesn't work. Okay, well, now let's try this. That's why it takes time, because this isn't an overnight thing. It's not a quick fix thing. In order for us to work with you and find something that is going to help you with that lifestyle change that we're after, you're going to try some shit. Some shit's not going to work. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but that's why we're here to guide you.
You got to let a coach know, like, this is not working for me,
Yep.
And that we work through it. That's what we're there for.
Yep. And I would say when coaching relationships don't work out and things like that, it ultimately comes down to, I would say, the communication, and also people just not being ready for coaching. And that's fine if you're not ready for coaching, but be open and be verbal about that, especially now that online and virtual coaching is really starting to become the new norm. We can work with people all over the globe, but with communication too, it's like everybody communicates differently too. So maybe it's just, we need to find their way of communication, maybe it's just their style of communication, frequency, method. Like, do they prefer text messaging? Like I do text messaging support with a lot of my clients because they don't want to be on the app. That's fine. I'm happy to do that. If you don't want to be on an app checking messages and things like that. Maybe they want those the videos, voice notes and things like that. Or maybe they don't really need communication. Maybe they just need somebody to check in with them from time to time to make sure they're following the plan. Everybody's different. But if we're not communicating those expectations and preferences ahead of time, nobody's going to know the coach and the client aren't going to know how to kind of go through those
they won't know how to work together in a communicable manner.
And on that line, we should be saying it and not assuming it, right? We shouldn't be just making assumptions. We shouldn't just
never make assumptions. That's another thing. Like, never make assumptions.
Yep. And that goes for, again, coaches and for our clients. What we've heard everything, right? What happens when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, but it's true.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help to further the relationship. And this, I want to go back to a point you made earlier. These are relationships, I've got a call tomorrow with a client that's been with me for 6 months. And that's usually, 6 or so months is how long somebody works with me, maybe longer. But, tomorrow's their offboarding call. And it's going to be an emotional call. I get sad.
But
Yeah.
it's like a happy sad, you
Oh
know?
yeah, it's a happy sad. It's a good sad. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, like these person is they're ready to go. They're ready to do this on their own. They've got the
Hmm.
skill set and everything they need to do this on their own. And I'm really excited for them to do this on their own because that's our job as coaches is to get you set up and get to a place where you can do this on your own. We might not see
Yeah.
people from point A to point C. We're going to get them from point A to point B so they can get to C and further on, and beyond on their own.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be drilling and teaching and coaching our clients in a way that they depend on us and need us forever.
Right. Right.
At the
Exactly.
beginning, it's understandable for there to be more communication and hand holding, I guess, in a way, right? And
Yeah.
guidance.
Yeah. Yeah. The beginning is like when I feel like they need us like the most,
Yes.
because it's all new and, they need to be walked through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Like this client in particular, the first couple of months were heavy, hit lots of hands-on and troubleshooting and things like that. But then these last couple of months, I'm just sending them a message a couple of times a week. They're like, Matt, no, I'm good. I'll let you know if I need anything. I'm following the plan. I'm doing my own workouts now. Like they've taken the workouts and everything, the structure that I've taught them and how to make their own workouts. And they're doing it on their own. And they found ways to doing, this client really likes doing like circuit training and things like that. So she's taken her strength workouts and everything like that and the structure and how to make progress. And she's starting to incorporate that on her own. But we wouldn't have ever gotten there if she wasn't open with me and with herself. She told, she didn't like strength training when we first started. She's like, no, Matt, it just doesn't interest me. But, once I just asked her to try it. Like, let's try this. Okay. She still doesn't love it, but she loves the impact that it's having on her life and her health. Her blood pressure's down, her cholesterol's down, her A1C is down. And yes, that's nutrition as well, but the workouts and strength training goes a long way into that. So she knows the benefits of doing it. So she's going to continue doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she was honest with herself. So
yeah.
And then like workouts too, right? Like if we don't see that a client is marking, logging their workouts and things like that, what I know we said we shouldn't assume, but we are assuming that they're not doing it then, right? If we're not seeing you complete those workouts, the assumption is you're not doing them. And we'll be like, okay, at least me, I'll ask you a couple of times what's going on and things like that. But if it continues to be an issue, then, we have to figure out why.
Yeah, that too. And also you have to be honest with yourself. Here comes the honesty again on how much time you can commit to workouts each week.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people come on, they're very excited. They're like, I want 5 workouts a week. It's like, okay, no way. Okay. What can you realistically do? Because if you can't do 2, then you're not going to do 5.
Absolutely. What can you consistently and do and stick with? And we're so, as a society, we think more is better when it comes to workouts. Like I got to be in the gym 5-6 days a week for an hour and a half every time. Like hell to the no, you don't.
No.
And this is something we've seen with the Patreon too, a little bit too, is we've had a couple people cancel the Patreon because they're like, this is easy. There's nothing like, first of all, if the workouts that we're giving you are easy, you're not pushing yourself hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah. You can make any workout hard.
Yeah. You're not pushing yourself hard enough in the gym because we're doing, and that working out doesn't need to be some weird, mysterious, complex thing. We're incorporating basic human movements. You don't need to be doing a fucking Bosu ball squat. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. It's like sweating doesn't mean a good workout. Like just because you're not programming the shit like burpees and all this stuff that's going to make your heart beat and sweat balls doesn't mean it's not effective. I think that's what people like. The workouts aren't hard enough. Like, what are you doing then?
Yeah. Why does shit have to be hard? Why does shit have to be hard?
That doesn't mean,
hard isn't better. I don't want shit to be hard. Like we can do hard things, as you always say, Beth, but shit doesn't, we shouldn't be making things hard just for the sake of things being hard.
Yeah.
Well, behavior change, that's hard. Consistency, that's hard. Our workouts should not be hard. Our workouts should be very clear, very detailed, and we know exactly what we're going to do, have a plan outlined, sets, reps, here's how you do it, how much stress you should be doing. Go take that and fucking crush it. it shouldn't be hard.
Right.
Like what the hard thing within those constraints of the workout plan should be how hard you're pushing yourself within those sets and reps. If you have, if we're giving you 3 sets of 10 and you do those 3 sets of 10, but you could have done 5 to 6 more reps, you didn't push yourself. You didn't use appropriate weight.
Yeah.
You didn't,
Right.
maybe you weren't explosive enough. You didn't use mind muscle connection. You weren't, time under tension wasn't right. Things like that. If you're done with a set and you ask, and this is what everybody should be doing, right? After they're done with the set, it's like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was that?
Right.
I personally feel like the sweet spot is right around 8 out of 10, if you're giving yourself an 8 out of 10, after each set, like, okay, cool. You have potentially like 2 more reps left in the tank. That's a really good place to be.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be failing our sets. We should almost never be failing our sets unless we are doing something maybe for the first time, or we're testing our maxes, which most people shouldn't be testing maxes because it doesn't fucking matter. As long as you're consistently making progress and adding weight or adding, improving your form and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
That's the thing, is your form. Like if you, before adding weight, you got to have good form.
Yep. Form above
Nothing
all else.
wrong. Form above everything.
Yep. And having good form, that will teach good body mechanics and good movement patterns and things like that. And it will prevent injury.
Yeah.
Prevent injury.
That's the thing.
You can't work out for injury.
Preventing injury too. You don't need to take your workouts to the point of injury.
Yep. Absolutely. And then along those lines, if you're working with a coach, let your coach know how you're feeling about those workouts after your workouts and things like that. Like we take that feedback, the biofeedback and things like that, and we incorporate that into your workout plans.
Yeah, maybe you're not doing them correctly. Like, I think that's why communication is key. If they're like, I feel like it's too easy, well, then tell your coach. Maybe film yourself doing them, and they could be like, well, this is why. Because you can do 20 when it's only like 10 because you're using a 8-pound freaking weight. Gotta
hate. I know strength is subjective. Everybody, what's heavy for me isn't going to be heavy for somebody else, and what's heavy for them is probably going to be, very heavy for me or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying there, but
heavy is relative to the individual.
Exactly. Thank you. and that's again, it goes back to being honest with yourself. Like, if you're just going through the motions of your workouts, you're not going to be reaping the benefits that much.
Yeah.
And we don't need to be doing those pink dumbbells, the 2-pound dumbbells and the 8-pounders and things like that. The 8-pounders, and those lower weights are appropriate for some movements, but I don't want to see you squatting with
raises or something.
Yeah. I don't want to see you squatting if you're using dumbbells. If you're doing like a goblet squat, I don't want to see you using a 2-pound weight in front of you for a goblet squat.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
For most people.
Right.
And so, and this goes also back to what you said earlier about, being honest and realistic. So honesty, being realistic expectations by your schedule. So your work schedule, what you can commit to working out, and also your training load, right? Like, if your overall volume's too much, your volume is going to be your sets, reps, how many the poundage you're moving and things like that. So yeah. Well, I'm feeling, I don't know. I think we're a little feisty on this one, but I'm okay with that. So this is, I know this subject is something that you and I have, talked privately about for the past few months, that we've been seeing this trend that I just feel like communication, and this is not just coaching, like we said earlier, just communication period is really in the
I think, because we care. Yeah. And I think that's we put a lot of our heart and soul into our coaching. And I don't think sometimes people don't understand that, like, as coaches, that we are in the business of helping you. And so that comes with a lot of empathy and, all kinds of stuff. And it's a lot of emotion that goes into this, to helping someone we're changing your life, or that's what we want to do, because you came to us for that guidance. And so, it means a lot to us, that you came to us. Yeah. So, not only that, like, it's just that when you ditch someone and you don't communicate, There's this, it's almost like if you're in a fight with your husband or girlfriend or whatever, and they just stop talking to you, where's the closure?
There is none.
I need the fucking closure here. I'm not going to stop until I get it. And when you ghost us, there's no fucking closure. And so it's like, oh my God, we're left to think, assume the worst.
Is it me?
Shouldn't do.
Or
what the fuck did I do? And then you start like going through every I've gone back through my Marco Polos, through emails. I'm like, what did I say? Did I say something that could have like done this? Mm-hmm. It's fucking taxing on our mental state, to be honest.
It is. And so unfortunately, that's the downfall of the way that you and I are, because we're empathetic and we care. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, there are some coaches that don't care, and if you want a coach that doesn't care, go to them. But if you want a coach that cares, we are the ones for you. Right. The coaches that don't care, and I'm not saying this to speak negatively.
They're out there.
But they're the coaches that are probably going to be taking on hundreds of clients, but also at a cheaper rate, because they can just sit there and churn them out and spit out cookie cutter programs and check in with you once a month. And if you don't if you don't get results, it's your fault. That's not the way that we do things here.
No, this is all individualized. So when we get your initial onboarding questionnaire, which we ask a ton of questions, we're literally going through your past, your injuries. Like, we're going through some of it's pretty deep. And so it's like, we're getting to know you through that, and we're trying to come up with the best solution for you. And so that takes a lot of effort.
It does. It takes a lot of effort. And I've been on multiple coaching consultations before people even become a client, where we get very deep and emotional.
Yeah.
Like my coaching consults actually, Beth, are starting to get it to be about 45 minutes or so on average. Because we're going into such high detail and emotional shit. Like, sometimes there's tears and things like that, and that's okay. Absolutely. But like, we fucking care a lot. We wear our hearts on our sleeves, and when we're when that's not being reciprocated, we take it personally. And people tell us, well, you shouldn't be doing that. Well, that's just how we are. We're emotional people. We're empathetic, and if you're working with us, you're likely that way too. We would hope, but we're also no bullshit too. There's a fine line between being no bullshit and just being a pushover, essentially too. So,
and I think communication is the key to opening the doors of you getting to where you want to be in your life, no matter where it is, really. It's like, if you're doing that to your coach, what else are you doing in your life? What else are you not communicating about? Like, you're holding yourself back in so many probably different areas that you don't even realize it.
Could be your career. You could be not, maybe you're not communicating with your boss about how you're feeling. Maybe you're disgruntled as fuck, but your boss has no idea because you are too afraid of conflict. So you're just bottling those feelings up until your work performance starts suffering, or you blow up and go off on a coworker or your boss, and then you get fired, or you quit, or you just leave and find a new job. And then you're going to have the same problems all over again after a while, or it could be with communication problems with your significant other. If you're not communicating to them about how you're feeling, it's probably going to lead to a poor relationship down the road. Communication in all aspects of life is very, very important.
Yeah.
But also listening. Listening is a big part of communication too, right? Being able to listen.
Oh yeah. Being a good listener. And that's another thing that, like, as us as coaches, we practice. And I know me and Matt have even talked about it. Like, being a listener is actually really hard, because we want to tell you what to do so bad. Yeah. We want to be like, no, you need to do this, but
we know the answer.
We can't do that. Right. But we want you to figure out the answer, because our job as coaches is to show you where to look, not tell you what to see. Because if we tell you something, it's like a child, you're not going to want to do it. You're like, nah.
We have to help guide you there.
We're going to try to help, like, have you figure it out on your own. So there's going to be a lot of listening, a lot of asking questions. Yeah. So listening is hard. Sometimes,
it is.
for sure.
And I'm going to call myself out here, Beth, because that's something on our podcast I've actually called myself out for as well, right? Like I have been quick in the past to just start talking and chime in. I've probably done it in this episode, um, and potentially even interrupting people at times because I just want to contribute to the conversation. But really, what I should be doing is just fucking listening. Like, shut up, Matt. Like, I still struggle with that. It's hard.
I was really bad about listening when I first started coaching, and then I took that HMCC course, which mindset, and then a lot of like Jordan, listening to his podcast and how sometimes I'm like, oh my God, how is he so quiet for like that fucking 15 minutes? I'm like, he just really listened, and I'm like, God, you practicing that it takes practice.
It's like any other skill. You have to hone it. Yep. And I love what you said about questions too, because ultimately that's one of our main jobs is to ask questions. And the answers to those questions that you come up with, you might not like those answers, but you might unravel some heavy shit, some ugly shit. So then you're faced with the decision of, oh shit, do I just ignore this question and then ghost my coach or ghost my significant other, therapist, whatever it might be? Or am I ready to confront that?
Yeah. We ask a lot of questions. I have actually my clients do like a lot of like answering questions with journaling. And, I've had clients tell me that I've never done this much like homework and like diving deep. It's like, that's how you get to the root of, this is not just a calorie, like counting your calorie program here. We go deep.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like behavioral therapy, on my team, and I know you incorporate a lot of that type of stuff too. We have a cognitive behavioral therapist. So like we're changing behaviors is not easy. Not easy. Not easy.
Not at all.
But we're here. We're all here. If you're listening to this podcast, I think it's safe to assume that you want to better yourself, that you want to improve the quality of your life. And which is amazing. And we're fucking here for that. We're here to help you with that. So when we challenge you and ask you questions, or when you're in our comments and things like that, understand we're doing it from a place of empathy, and we want to help you get there. And we may call you out sometimes, but hopefully hopefully it's not seen as a way that we're attacking you personally, where it's just as we're asking you because we want to get you thinking. And not just going through the movements.
If we trigger in something in you, it's not because we're being evil and mean. We're trying to make you think.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. A little thinking goes a long way.
Yeah. You may not like it.
Yeah. And you know what? We're doing our job then. So we just ask you, like, take that with a grain of salt and understand that what our intentions are. We're not doing it to talk shit to you and things like that. It's so that we can get you to think hard and look inward and come up with these answers yourself.
Yeah.
Like for instance, right? One of the common questions we always get, right? Or one of the common things that we always go through with people in our comments is like, oh, well, why are you talking badly about keto or intermittent fasting or what X diet, whatever it might be? It works for me. Like, okay, cool. Can you do this for the rest of your life? People hate that question.
Right.
Can you do this for the rest of your life?
How many times have you done this?
How many times have you done that keto? Yeah. And if it's more than once, that's a problem.
That's the thing. It's like, we're not saying this shit because we don't like keto. We're saying it because we know for a fucking fact it is unsustainable.
Right.
You don't have people coming to us saying that they haven't had a potato or a slice of bread in 5 years for no reason. Like, people are legitimately afraid of those things because of that diet.
And it's bullshit.
Yeah. So
there's zero reason to be afraid of food.
Yeah.
Zero. Well, some of the comments I was in this morning, I posted a video. I reposted an older video about like how all diets work, right? By getting you into a calorie deficit. And they're like, but that's not what intermittent fasting's for. Intermittent fasting's for improving your health and this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? That's not unique to intermittent fasting. You don't have to restrict your eating windows in order to reap the benefits of intermittent fasting. They were like, but it helps stabilize my blood sugars and it helps my A1C go down. I'm like, great. that likely happened as a result of you being in a calorie deficit by losing body
eating
fat.
more protein, maybe. I mean, there's so many different reasons. Having a balanced plate. I don't know.
You could have taken that intermittent fasting and not done it and consumed the same amount of calories that you were in intermittent fasting. You would have gotten the same fucking results. And there are studies after studies after studies that prove this time and time again.
Lane Norton is constantly posting studies about intermittent fasting and calorie deficit.
Yep. It's not magic. Intermittent fasting is not magic, and keto is not magic, and all this other stuff. And that's the other thing too, is not communication, but realistic expectations and like just understanding. I think a lot of people just don't understand the way these things work. I was challenging somebody this morning or last night in my comments. First of all, what comment was it? Or video was it? I don't remember exactly the video, but she was saying something along the lines of, it was blood sugar and things like that, and sugar and how sugar impacts that. And she was saying, if you're insulin resistant, that sugar will get stored as fat. And I responded to her. I said, it will not get stored as fat if you're in a caloric deficit. It is physically impossible. And she, of course, said, no, I'm wrong. My doctor told me this. And I always hate that response. I'm like, doctors are great, but like doctors don't know everything. And some of them know fuck all about nutrition. And I'm like, so then I challenged her a little bit and I said, please explain to me how insulin resistance violates the first law of thermodynamics. And for those listening that don't know, Beth and I talk about this all the time. Thermodynamics. You cannot create nor destroy energy. It can only be transferred. Okay. So what that means is, if you're in a calorie deficit, right, and deficit of energy to maintain your body wants its homeostasis. It's all about balance. And so homeostasis and the first law of thermodynamics go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Your body cannot, it's impossible for it to store body fat in a deficit of energy, no matter what the food, the micronutrient makeup is that you're bringing in. It's impossible. There's so many studies that prove this. And I asked her, I said, okay, explain to me how insulin resistance violates the first law of thermodynamics and homeostasis. And she said, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to disregard what my doctor said. I'm like, first of all, I would never tell you to disregard what your doctor is saying.
Right.
She's like, your advice is generalized. I'm like, you're fucking right. It is generalized, but also what you're saying is still factually incorrect. Sorry.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And that was just, they don't like that. People don't like facts. People don't like science.
No.
Because it challenges their ego and their assumptions and their biases and their opinions. Yeah. We get very attached to our opinions and think they're facts.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Facts don't care about your feelings. No.
That's true, unfortunately.
Yep. There's our no bullshit quote of the show right there.
Facts don't give a fuck about your feelings.
They don't. Okay? The data. Lane Norton's famous saying, data over your feelings. Data doesn't give a fuck about your feelings.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Data is data. You can get what is getting upset about the data going to do? Like, I don't like that science experiment that person ran that proved me wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's like putting all your emotion in a scale number. That's data.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Beth.
Yeah. Well,
is that all we have to say about communication and honesty? And
I think we kind of hit it.
Yeah. Fiery episode there.
A little bit. Yeah. But I think it's necessary. This is us. This is who we are. We care. We're passionate. So.
Yeah.
You get all of us, you guys, all of us. Okay.
You don't get to pick and choose which of us.
The bad and the ugly. Okay.
Yes, I love that. Totally. It's coming from a place of. It's because we fucking care. We care.
That's
people.
Right.
We care.
Yeah, we do.
Our fellow no bullshitters.
And we want you to fucking care about yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
So communicate with us.
Please.
Communicate with your significant other. Just fucking communicate.
What that quote, Jerry Maguire, help me, help you.
Right. Yeah. We can't help you if you don't fucking give us the information. Like, we can't. Like, we are not mind readers. And I think another thing is people don't communicate because they think they did something wrong. Like, we're not here to scold. We're not here to scold you. Like, I am not judging you, or Matt is not judging you at all, ever. Yeah. So if you feel like you may have fucked up, whatever, that's part of the process. That is why you hired us for coaching, is so we can actually walk you through that. Because 99.9% of the time you came to us because you're it's hard for you to be consistent and you give up on yourself because you think you fuck up all the time. So we're here to walk you through that, guide you.
Yes, absolutely. Guide you. As coaches, we're here not necessarily for when things are good, right? It's when things are are tough, and you're hitting those bumps on the road, and there's going to be challenging times. I can promise you that. So let's set that expectation right away. Things are not always going to be hunky dory and awesome and sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and all that shit. It's going to be hard at some point. That's what we're here for as your coach. Yeah. To guide you and help when things are tough and things are hard. You might feel like nothing is going right, but I promise you some things are going right and you're doing some things really fucking well. And we're going to show you that. We're going to show you that. Yep. Yep. And then we're going to help. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you finish. I was just going to go off on another thing.
And I was just going to say, and then we're going to look at the things that are going not so well and then help you to understand why and how we can work on improving that. Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. So I was just going to talk about running and how I wanted to let everyone know what we're doing if they don't know. If you don't know, now you know. Was that Biggie Smalls? Yeah. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah, that is. Yep. Oh my God, that's too funny. Couch to 5K. Matt and I are doing it. It's legit beginner. Like, you can't get any more beginner than this. Yeah, I haven't ran since 2016 was the last time I intentionally ran, other than maybe sprints. I did a 5K in 2016 and then promptly retired because I was like, yeah, I hate this. But yeah, I gotta say really quickly about running. Maybe I don't know. It's only been one day that I did my running, but I actually might enjoy it this time around. I think when I've done it in the past, I was running for the wrong reasons. So, right. And that's why a lot of people start running, because they think they need to punish themselves or to burn calories, or they have to run to lose fat. I've done that in the past, but I'm doing it for an entirely different reason this time. So same. Yeah. I was a runner. I think I did it for the wrong reasons in the beginning, and then as I became more of a runner, I started doing it because mentally it was a really good out for me. Like, when I trained for the marathon, I listened to whole audiobooks. Like, I listened to Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, which got me through a lot of my runs. That probably fired you the fuck up. Oh, it was amazing. Have you ever listened to that? No. Oh, Matt. I think does he read it? Does he speak it as well? He does. It's almost like a podcast. So he has someone else reading it and they're there together. And so he jumps in. It's awesome. It's it's about that everything is mental. Like everything we do, has to do with our mentality about everything. And I don't know, it fired me up. Oh yeah. So anyway, running. It's I need something right now to step away from everything. Like, even on my walks, I'm on my phone. This way, if I'm running, I'm not going to be watching TikToks. I'm not going to be responding to comments. I'm just going to be doing that. And I need you in the concrete. Yeah, that's what I need. So I'm excited. It's hard to start from the beginning. And this is where comparison, right? We tell us I'm not comparing myself to who I was 2 years ago when I was running. Right. I'm not there anymore. I'm here now, and you start where you are. That's important. Yeah. Meet yourself where you're at. Don't beat yourself up because you're not where you used to be or where you want to be. Just focus on where you are now. Yeah. So are you one day into it, or did you get your second day in yet today? Or are you doing I'm going to do my second day soon, probably after we talk on the podcast, though, because it's raining out. I got to go on the treadmill. Oh, gotcha. Down in the basement? Yeah. Cool. Cool. It's not raining here. I'm gonna do day 2 tomorrow. I feel really good though. So I just did my day 1 yesterday. I was curious if my shins were gonna be sore, or my calves were gonna be sore today. No, I feel pretty good, so I'm excited. And that's because with the couch to 5K program, right? The nice thing is, it eases you into running. You don't just start
Yes.
running. You don't just run a 5K after never having done it or not doing it in years. You need to ease into it. So, right, I don't know, the first week I think of Couch to 5K, it's running for 1 minute and then walking for 90 seconds, and you do
Yeah.
that for 8 rounds with a 5-minute warm up and cool down.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's a perfect introduction and getting your feet wet, and that's what we always talk about, right, Beth? Starting
Yeah.
small and making it easy to start out with and then building from that.
Mhm.
And this is
And this
exactly
way
what
you won't get injured. And I know when I started running, I did not do the couch to 5K. I just went right into it and I got shin splints, plantar fasciitis. So
Yep.
this way you're building it up. So you're less likely to get injured doing the couch to 5K rather than just trying to run 3 miles straight, because that's actually what's going to make it miserable. If you try to go from 0 to 160, you're gonna be like, I hate running. Of course you hate running. Like
you hurt after every
you're gonna be fucking comfortable if you've never run before and you try to run 3 miles straight. You're gonna be hurting.
Yeah, totally.
You got to build it up.
Yeah. And what with strength training and things like that, what do we always talk about? Progressive overload. And that's essentially what the Couch to 5K program is. Progressive overload. You're getting better over time and gradually doing more.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be running inside today. Wow. I hate
running inside today.
I despise running on treadmills. I really do. It's so tough.
I've done the whole run in the rain, running fucking 20 below zero. And you know what?
As you train for your marathon?
Yeah. I mean, I've run a half marathon in like 20 below, and that was brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that again. But yeah, I'm a wimp now. I mean, I suppose I can go run out in the rain, but it just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Sure. I get it. You got to do what you can do, like make it easy. So yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. So if anybody, like, I think we should start up that like a running group on that app that you sent me. What was it called? Strava?
Strava. So you have the Couch to 5K that you download, and then there's Strava where you can add friends. When I did my first run, I did not track it on Strava. So I will track it on Strava today.
I just wanted to get comfortable with using the Couch to 5K app first. So
yeah. So I don't know how it's going to track it on the treadmill. I'm going to try that and see how that works.
So what do you think? Should we do that? Start a little group, and if people that listen to the podcast want to join us, like we can hold each other accountable and hype each other up and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I know we've had a couple people tag us already that they started as well, which is amazing.
Yep. I love that.
And then we got Chris, the adventurous filmmaker, right? He messaged me. I don't know if he messaged you, but he said, he's interested in joining the group as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
So
we can get a little community going for that.
What are you on in Strava? I'm trying to think of what my name is on there, because I got that.
I was so hard for me to find you on Strava.
Because I'm not under. I'm under Beth Wilkes.
We'll figure it out, and then we can put it in like the show notes or post a link on our social media or something.
I gotta change my last name. I got Strava in the beginning of my running days.
Yeah. We'll figure out what our usernames are, and then we'll put them in the notes and things like that. I think.
Oh yeah, you can create groups. Cool.
Yeah, you can. I did see that, which is what I'm really interested in with that app. So
nice.
It's going to be cool. So yeah, look forward to the running group coming. If you guys want to join us, we'll let you know how you can join us. One other thing then too, if we're moving on from running, is the Patreon. This episode will be out at the end of the month, which means a new month of Patreon workouts and challenges and things like that. So I know you've been working on. Do you want to shout out what the new monthly challenge is going to be? Have you?
I am thinking that it's going to be mindset and core. I have a lot of people asking me about core, so I think we're going to do some like plank challenges, some dead bugs, just to incorporate stuff like that. Not like any crazy ab workouts. We're just going to like focus on strengthening our core throughout the month.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to throw some mindset stuff, like maybe like write down 3 things that you're grateful for at night. And this is where the hard, like, I don't know if I want to do this kind of stuff, but hey, it works. It helps. Yeah. When you find you're more grateful for things, a lot of things change in your life. So.
And I'll be honest, when I first started my journey years ago, mindset was the last thing on my mind. But once I fully understood the power of changing your mindset and having a growth mindset and a healthy relationship with food and exercise and my body and acceptance, it was a complete fucking game changer for me.
Yeah.
And it is for my clients, and I'm sure for your clients too, Beth. And that's why we do the things the way we do.
Yeah.
Behavior change. And
maybe it could be like, write 3 things you love about yourself. I mean, I find I have that question in one of my questionnaires, my end of the month questionnaire. And people sometimes don't know how to answer it. Like they can't find something that they love about themselves. So that's something we need to work on, right?
Yeah. Because there's plenty that, that there's plenty of things about yourself that are lovable, that you should love about yourself.
You can find something that you love about someone else. You sure as heck can find something that you love about yourself.
Yeah. We need to start looking at the positives in life and the positives about ourselves rather than the things we don't like and the negatives. And then taking those positives and embracing them and building on them and not focusing on the negatives so much. Like if you focus on negatives all the time, you're going to be a negative person. You're going to be toxic. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be sad and anxious. And I know it's not just so easy to just say, well, stop thinking about the negatives. It's not that easy. I get it. It takes work,
right.
though.
And that's what this challenge is going to be about. It's just taking work towards.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for it. I mean, the workouts are, we got the new format done for the workouts as well. In that Excel sheet, which is going to be really cool. I think it's going to make things a lot easier for people to understand.
Okay. So you're going to use the one I sent you?
Totally.
Nice.
So I know we had received a couple of comments from people saying, I don't really know how to read the workouts. And that's okay. I understand that. So we're making this a little bit easier. And there's going to be nice places in there for you to log comments and write notes about the workouts. You'll be able to
track, and you can track your weights and stuff. So that's cool.
Absolutely. So it's going to be really cool. So those are coming in just a matter of days. So if you haven't signed up for the Patreon already, now's a great time to do it. And for those of you that have already, we're excited that you're here. We appreciate you. And we're going to continue to give you guys the best stuff that we can in the Patreon. So
May 1st is on a Sunday. So that will be in there on Sunday.
Perfect start to a new month is Sunday. You could even start the workout program will probably start Monday. It depends on when the last workout we have scheduled for them for Saturday or April was, but Yep. And of course, those workout schedules that we give them, right? Those are merely suggestions. They don't need to follow it to a T. And most people have been doing that. So yeah.
Totally.
Yep.
All right, everyone.
Awesome. Okay.
It's already 2. Holy shit. That's great.
Yeah. Time fucking flew. I guess when we're ranting, our podcast episodes always go really quickly though. So I love how we asked people if they like the shorter episodes and we've done like one of them. It's so hard.
We have one before you went on vacation that we didn't release yet, I believe.
Do we?
Don't we or no? I believe we recorded one for like 30 minutes. It was like a 30-minute-er.
I think
I'm trying to think. I got to look back in my Zoom recording.
I think we had to cancel one scheduled episode recording, and so we used that one instead. I think I had to cancel it because of some family stuff. I think. So,
okay. I feel like there's one before that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, let's look. Boy, we need a producer.
Yeah.
we need an
assistant, a producer, and an editor. Anyone want to help out?
And we're serious too. We're actually serious. So
we're not joking.
Yeah. If you have any type of organizational skills and preferably editing skills and things like that with audio and video, we need help with that. And ideally you'd have some fitness experience and knowledge, so you know what we're looking for and things like that. So yeah, we're dead serious. We want to look to bring somebody on to help us with the podcast. So
yeah, and we are officially business owners together now.
We are. Yes!
How the fuck did we not even get excited about that?
Let's hype that up for a minute.
Oh my God! Yeah, how exciting, right?
Officially, as of yesterday, we are incorporated. We filed our paperwork. Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt LLC for the podcast.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yes. So we have our own email too. So if you want to email us if you're interested, it's cutthecrappod@gmail.com.
Yep. Got it right. Yep. Cut the crap. cutthecrappod@gmail.com. How about we can put that in the show notes as well?
Yeah, good idea.
And also stay tuned because we're going to work on a website, and we've got a whole new makeover coming in terms of like graphics and logos and stuff like that. So getting a facelift, guys. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be making some new videos soon.
Yes, totally. I have lots of. I know we've got some ideas. I really want to get. I won't do any spoiler alerts for what our video ideas are, but it'll be fun for us to get together again, hopefully in May. So,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Yes. Everybody, crush it. Be honest with yourself.
Be honest with us. Yes.
Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. And that is a wrap for this episode of Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt. Did we help you cut through the bullshit? We want to know. Send us a DM on Instagram and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear them. And if you did find this one helpful, why not share this episode with a friend? I know I personally love it when a friend shares their favorite podcast with me, along with a text saying, "Oh my God, you have got to check out this podcast. You'll love it." And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss future episodes.